Hello, all you lovely people, and welcome to another video of mine. Now, before I start off, I just want to wish each and every one of you a very, very big season's greetings to you and yours. May you have a wonderful New Year's and the many years that follow. Now, since it is New Year's, it is also the time for a lot of deals when it comes to games. So I thought let's quickly make a video on all deals that are currently available on Epic and on Steam Game Store. Now, there are some games that I have personally purchased, and I want to talk about why I purchased them and why I personally think it's worth your time and money as well. With that said, let's get started. Okay, so let's start with Steam first. And just a quick disclaimer, I am going to be focusing only on those games which have released in 2023. There are a lot of games on sale, some old, some new, but the focus is going to be on games that have released in 2023. Otherwise, this will be a very, very long video. So the sale has already started on December 21st and it goes all the way up to 4th January. Now, this Steam sale is much shorter than the Epic game sale. That's why I want to cover this first. And for those of you who have a Steam Deck, obviously this sale is more important. But for those who have these other mini handheld devices like Asus, ROG Ally, or some of the Ioneo devices, etc., they can take advantage of Epic game sales as well. So the first game that I want to talk about, surprisingly, is going to be an exception to this rule because this game originally released in 2020, but we are now in 2023, and that is Cyberpunk 2077. Now, the reason why I want to cover this game is because this game has drastically changed, and I want to go into the other 2.1 details, which is why this game is completely different. So I'm not going to play the audio because otherwise it's going to get too much, too loud. I want to talk over what's happening here. And I want to talk about, some of the noticeable changes that have happened. Now with the N-Card City Pass, you can travel between 19 metro stations located throughout Night City on 5 different lines. So this feels like a totally different game because with these 5 different lines that you can access via fast travel or riding the train itself while you're gazing out the window and watching the world go by, it's a completely different experience. Now, apart from that, you also have this, you could say, racing feature. You can now hit people with the bike. So the complete action sequence of your time on the bike has now changed. Apart from that, you will be able to invite your love interest. You can hang out together. You can spend your time dancing around, etc. So there's so much that has changed when it comes to your romantic involvement with your romantic buddies. You can also listen to the radio while you're on the foot, and this is also one of those big changes. Instead of just being able to listen to the radio while you're in the car, and there are replayable car races. So it's a completely different game. That's why I made the exception here while talking about Cyberpunk 2077. You also have the Ultimate Edition now, which is on sale, by the way. And if you buy the Phantom Liberty download and the main base game, then it's going to cost you more. It's going to cost you lesser if you just buy the Ultimate Edition, which is also on sale by the moment. At the moment, and it's on sale for only around 2,500 Indian rupees, if I'm not wrong. Let me just quickly head over to the Phantom Liberty uh, download here. I think it's around 2,500. Let me just quickly get in here and show you how much it costs. Yeah, 2,551. Now, if I just do a direct conversion of that into dollars, because this price that you're seeing here is in Indian rupees. So it's roughly around $31 to $32. And at that price point, this is a fantastic buy because this is a completely different game now with Phantom Liberty included. So do check it out. And moving ahead, let's head over to another one of those titles which had released in 2023, which is Lords of the Fallen. Now, yeah, Lords of the Fallen is basically a 2023 reboot of the 2014 action RPG. So it throws players into a dark fantasy world dripping with atmosphere and challenging combat, and it also captures the essence of the Souls-like genre with its unforgiving difficulty and rewarding exploration. And it stumbles, however, under the weight of some technical difficulties when it released on the PC. But I just want to quickly talk about some of the strengths and some of the, you could say, weaknesses of this game. Now, one of the biggest strengths that this game had to offer or has to offer is its standout feature, which is the ability to shift between two realms. So there's a light realm and there's a umbral realm, I believe. And what this does is it opens up environmental puzzles, it opens up combat opportunities, and it adds a layer of depth to the entire world building. It also has an engaging combat system, and it also has decent level designs, you could say, and satisfying loot that you can find around the game. Now, it, however, has some weaknesses. One of the biggest issues being that initially it had some performance issues, which obviously, through updates has been fixed. Some of them are still there, but most of them have been fixed. There's some uninspired boss battles. So the game is visually impressive, by the way, there's no doubt about it, because it's a 2023 title. But although it looks visually great, the boss battles there is, but it lacks the complexity, you could say, lacks the challenge that is expected from this genre. Because after Elden Ring came out, Souls-like games, they started coming out in droves. This is definitely one of them. Apart from that, one of the other weaknesses was it had repetitive enemy variety. So there are a decent number of enemy types. However, when you play this for a long period of time, you are gonna feel like a lot of these enemies are getting repeated again and again. And apart from that, the story definitely takes a backseat here. So the narrative is serviceable but forgettable. So this is one of the games which is now at a great price, because if you look at the price of this game for a 2023 title, this is available for only 1949. That's the base game. You obviously have a deluxe edition as well, but I'm going to mainly talk about the base game. So if you take the base game price and divide it or convert it, it's roughly around $25 that you're going to be paying for this game. So Lords of the Fallen is definitely one of those titles that you can get. It's the same price on both Steam and on Epic Game as well. It's available on sale on both these platforms. Now, if you have kids at home, this is definitely one of the titles that I will recommend. It only comes at around 787 Indian rupees, which is less than $10. And for that price, I can definitely say you're going to have a ball of a time, especially if you have kids at home. Now, this game, as you can see in the graphics, it's a, you could say, a mix between a game like Fall Guys and Gang Beasts. And my kid absolutely loves Gang Beasts. So what are the pros of this game? First of all, it's cuteness overload. You play as so many different animals here, like a wobbly panda or a feisty shark, or they're cute little doggies as well. So you can punch, kick, bonk. The combat is wacky, it's funny, it's satisfying, and you have a lot of variety in the game. So you have different game modes here, like last stand, team score, food fight. So there's a lot that you can do with the game for the price that it's coming at. Some of the cons or weaknesses, I would say, is that you do have online play here, but you could say the multiplayer is a little clunky, and there could be some connectivity issues I personally face. Maybe it's my connection, but maybe it's not. So if you have faced some connectivity issues as well, then do let me know. This game is also available on other platforms, so it's not just on PC, but I am talking about this on PC. It's also available on Xbox, by the way. Right now, I'm only talking about the games that are on sale. And please note that I play these games on different platforms. So some of these games might be in my library in Steam, and some of these games might be on my other library, which is my Xbox game library, on my Xbox game console, and on my PlayStation 5. So if you're not seeing this on my library, and if you think I'm just commenting on it, please keep that in mind. Yeah, so yeah, this is a great, I could say, family entertainer. That's why I thought I will include it here. uh, and I quickly wanted to talk about it as well. And very quickly, just quickly, the other game that is from 2023 is definitely Remnant 2. So let's quickly talk about this one as well. Another, you could say, Souls-like game. This is Remnant 2, by the way. And now, I personally haven't played this game. So this is not, you could say, a personal experience that I'm sharing, but I'm sharing from what I've read online. So this is basically, you could say, a shooting game in line with games like Gears. And what it does is it's like a mix-up or a mashup between Gears and the Souls-like genre. So the difficulty level is definitely going to be, uh, you could say, comparatively higher when it is compared to a game like Gears 5. So I'm just kind of sharing what I've read about it, because it's tough for me to explain this game without having played it. But the reason why I wanted to include this is because it has been well received by critics and even gamers. If you read the reviews in Steam's review section as well, I think gamers and critics alike, they have actually liked this game. So I thought I'll quickly mention about this game as well, Remnant 2, because the overall universal acceptance of both critics and gamers have been that this is definitely a notch above Remnant 1. And almost everything has improved about it. The levels are more expansive. There are more weapons to play around with. The gameplay has become a lot more engaging, it seems. So these are some of the reasons as to why this game is on my list today. And I think now with these reduced prices, it's worth checking it out, because the pricing, if you take a look at it, is really competitive on this sale. Now, this for a new title which just released in 2023 is only 1740. So that means it's like $20, less than $20 if it's 1740. And that price, it's definitely one of the games that you can check out. There are other versions as well, like Deluxe, Ultimate Edition, but I think I'm just going to talk about the base game here, which is less than $20. And at less than $20, I think it's worth checking out. You never know, I might even give it a go before the sale finally ends on 4th January. I might download it. And if I do, you will have the video of this particular game also on my channel. Let me know what your thoughts are. And if you want me to download this game and play this and give you my opinion about it, do let me know in the comment section. Another game that's really easy to recommend on my list of games on the sale is Robocop Rogue City. Now, this is again a 2023 title, and it really took me down the memory lane. It has nostalgic value for me as well, because it reminded me of the movies Robocop 1 and 2. And surprisingly, this is, from the narrative perspective, placed in between Robocop 2 and Robocop 3. Robocop 3, not such a great movie, but Robocop 1 and 2, yeah. So this game, I quickly want to talk about, what I liked about this game. You have the gameplay video of this game on my channel as well, so feel free to check it out. Now, what I can say is this is definitely a love letter to Robocop 1 and Robocop 2. So you also have Peter Weller, who has reprised his role, and that's a good thing. So when the original actors are involved, it kind of gives you a little more confidence that the end product could end up being good. Now, the graphics, visually, it's really good. The visual fidelity of this game is excellent. In fact, this is one of the best looking games that I personally saw in 2023. Now, having said that, there are inconsistencies as well. Inconsistencies in terms of the facial expressions, in terms of the lip sync, it's totally off. So there, there are inconsistencies is what I can say. But the combat is brutally satisfying. I mean, you move around like this hunky chunky metal piece, Robocop, and you don't move around very fast. You have a slow movement, I would say rightly paced movement, and the weight of each shot, and the you could say the physics involved when you are shooting at a wall. There are destructive elements as well. The environments, they get destroyed when you shoot around. So it's really, really good. And apart from that, the city itself is so beautifully designed, because it just, again, it's very nostalgic for me. But what I can say is not just about blasting people or blasting robots, but there are other aspects in the game as well. Now, it is definitely rough around the edges. I would accept that, uh, meaning that apart from the inconsistencies, there were a few glitches. The AI was a little wonky, and apart from that, the narrative, while yes, it is engaging, but it does not reach, you could say, the heights of the original film, the first film, that is, not the second one was the movies, it was a downhill from the first one is good, second one is okay, third one meh. Yeah. And the mission variety could also use a tune up, because the core gameplay loop, while it's fun, it can become a little repetitive after some time. But hey, at this price point, for 1539 for the base game, this is a good price. It's less than $20, and at that price point, I think it's definitely worth checking it out. So Robocop Rogue City, if you've played it, let me know what you think about it. Now, if there's one game that I do want to check out, it's on my wish list as well, and I might just end up downloading it while on sale, because the pricing, first of all, is $11.99, which is what, like $15, and at that price point, I think it really sounds very attractive, I would say. And this game looks very interesting. It's been highly rated, and it's not because of the ratings that I want to try this game out. If you read about it, then it has a very thought-provoking narrative, and that's one of the key reasons as to why I want to pick it up. The story itself. Now, apart from people calling it like a walking simulator, which I don't think it is, a lot of people may be wrong there, because if you read about it a lot more, the story itself is one of the key reasons as to why you should pick it up, and that probably would be my reason to pick this up. Yeah. Now, from what I've read about it, again, because I've not played this, it has the story unfolding through dialogue, environmental details, your own choices, and it's going to leave plenty of room for interpretation as well. And what it does is it tackles themes like humanity's place in the universe, the ethics of exploration, the nature of consciousness, making for a truly cerebral experience. I mean, that's enough reason for me to check this game out. Not everything everywhere is for us. That's a good line as well. So I think I'm really interested in getting this game while on sale. But do let me know your thoughts. If you've already played this game, the reviews on Steam, they are very positive. But if you've played this, I'd be very happy to know what your experience has been like when it comes to this particular game, the Invincible. Great price, roughly 15 bucks. And I think it's, yeah, at that price, it really attracts you towards itself. One of the other games that I do want to check out. Okay, so this video is already getting very long, but I do want to talk about this particular game before I finally head over to my Epic Games as well. Now, this particular game, The Expanse, a Telltale series, by the way, um, I've already purchased this on Epic Games, but it's available both on Steam and on Epic. Now, it has a captivating story, because if you've been a fan of the TV series, then you'd be glad to know that it's connected to all of that TV series universe. So it's set before the TV series from the narrative perspective, and it weaves its own compelling intrigue, delving into, you could say, Drummer's past, because the main protagonist here is a character called Kamina Drummer. So you're going to be exploring the harsh realities of life beyond the inner planets. And obviously, like any of the other Telltale games, the choices that you make have weight. It's going to impact the crew, and it's going to shape the narrative in meaningful ways. So you are going to have some beloved characters from the show, like Amos, Peaches, and it adds that layer of authenticity and fan service, you could say. And let me tell you one thing, that if you are wondering, well, I haven't seen the show, so now what? Is this game still worth playing? You'd be glad to know that even if you have not seen the series, the story here in this game stands on its own, and it introduces you to the world of this you could say the Expanse universe and its conflicts in a very compelling way. And visually, Telltale games, they've always been stunning. They really capture your the visual flair that is required to tell these kind of stories. So it's really stunning from the visual standpoint. But it is short, so that's probably one of the cons. So it's a short game. It's not very long. There are 5 episodes, and they fly by very quickly. So in total, you could say that probably 8 to 9 hours, you'd be finishing the whole story. Even the interaction, despite of the visuals that are available here, interacting with the environment feels kind of restricted. So you can't pick up objects, you can't solve puzzles in depth, or explore every nook and cranny, which can limit the feeling of, you could say, agency and depth overall. So that's probably the negative side of this game. But apart from that, it is a good game, especially at this price point, 660, less than $10. What a steal. So this game at this price point is, I would say, one of those games that you should experience, because if you're into short story type games, which are like less than 10 hours, then this is definitely one of those games that you should check out. Moving over to the Epic Game Store, this was one of the titles that I was really interested in, but it kind of disappointed me in some ways. And I do want to talk about, both the pros and cons of this particular game. So first of all, it's not exactly a AAA title, but even though it's not a AAA title, I would say that the whole world that they've created here It's stunning. Some of the visuals are really breathtaking. Now, the world also feels alive. It feels full of secrets that you would want to discover, which makes exploration a constant joy, you could say. The combat is fast paced. It's really good. It's in fact a highlight of this game. It offers a satisfying blend of melee and ranged attacks with a focus on parrying and also on timing. And you've also got to master your combos so that you can unleash some powerful finishes which feel incredibly rewarding. So the combat is definitely a big highlight of this game. You also have sand surfing, which is really cool. It's fun, in fact. And there is, you could say, a reasonably deep character customization. But there were some cons as well. For instance, the gameplay loop is very repetitive. So while the combat and exploration are initially engaging, they can become repetitive over time because the core gameplay loop of battling enemies, unlocking skills, and exploring more of the same desert can feel monotonous after a while. And the story itself is unfortunately the weakest aspect of Atlas Fallen. So if you are in um, here for a rewarding story experience, then you are definitely going to be disappointed, is what I would say. Because the story, it kind of throws around grand themes like rebellion, sacrifice, but it never truly delves into them in a meaningful way. So, a decent title. I personally was a little disappointed with this, but hey, there may be something in it for you. So let me know if you played this game. Come back and let me know what your thoughts are about this game. I already purchased this on Steam. It's staying in my Steam library. I also have gameplay of this on my main channel, I think. But yeah, if you want me to put up more videos of Atlas Fallen with a detailed review or my personal opinion about this game, do let me know in the comment section. I'd be very happy to share my complete experience of playing Atlas Fallen. Now let's move on with some other games in the Epic Games sale. One of the games that I will highly recommend from 2023, and this is, I mean, it blew my mind when I played this game. That's how good this game is. Alan Wake 2. I mean, it is bonkers, guys. It is something else altogether. Because from the story perspective, it really throws you into a loop, into a spiral. Now, I'm not going to give you a lot of spoilers here because I want you to experience this game on your own. But just a quick something that I do want to talk about, the story, because this is part 2. So it picks up several years after the events of the first game. So you have Alan Wake as the main protagonist. You're still battling the forces of darkness that threaten to consume you. But this time you're not alone because there's another agent called Saga Anderson. And together you will face, you could say, a twisted tale that blurs the line between reality and fiction. And the way they've made this game, the soundtrack, by the way, is also fantastic. The horror here, there are a lot of jump scares, there are a lot of spookiness here, and you can expect chills, you can expect thrills, you can expect nightmares, in fact, that will keep you up at night when you're playing this game. And I would say if you are too scared of horror stories or horror movies, etc., have somebody sitting near you when you're playing this game because this game can get really scary. There are a lot of jump scares, guys, a lot of jump scares. And it's also got a new world to explore because Bright Falls is definitely back for sure. But you have other newer areas as well that you will get to explore in this game. So completely bonker of a story here, and that's what you should play this game for, the experience, because by the end of the game your jaw will drop and you'll say, what the yeah, that's exactly what you're going to experience. So do let me know your thoughts if you played this game already. If you haven't, what are you waiting for? One of the best games that I've played in 2023 is definitely Alan Wake 2, and I will highly recommend it. Moving on to other games. Oh, by the way, as to how much does it cost? 2,198 Indian rupees, which is not bad. So if you look at it, if I convert that into dollars, that's roughly around $25, $26, less than $30. And it's a great buy, guys. I mean, it's a great game overall. Okay, one of the other titles that released in 2023, this was Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now, not one of my favorites from the whole franchisee. My favorite from the franchisee, the top game would be Assassin's Creed Odyssey because of the expansiveness of the whole, world that they'd created, the ancient Greece. And that's what Mirage ditches completely because this game, it tries to go back to the original Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 games. So it in fact ditches the expansive open world approach of the recent entries like Origins or Valhalla or Odyssey, most importantly for me. In fact, you've got a much smaller, much denser map brimming with assassination contracts, you could say. It has a lot of parkouring, so you've got a lot of parkouring, side activities, etc. But this focused design, you could say, again is reminiscent of the earlier Assassin's Creed games. Not my favorite again. So you've got a lot of stealth in this. You've got Baghdad, which is a great backdrop here. And I would say it's a familiar formula. It's refined, but not reinvented. That's in fact its weakness. That the core gameplay loop again of exploring, infiltrating, assassinating might feel repetitive for, you could say, veterans of the series. So, for me, for instance, I am a big fan of the new series Origins, Valhalla, and Odyssey. Valhalla, not so much, but Origins and Odyssey for sure. One of my favorite RPG games of all time. So, this game is not that. It's in fact much shorter. So the main campaign, is only roughly about 12 to 15 hours long, and the content perspective is much shorter again because in Odyssey, for instance, I have now played over 300 hours, and you have two characters there, so you can have like a playthrough again. But in this, you only have Basim, so you play as Basim, and I don't know if it's gonna really be worth your time. But hey, if you are a fan of the franchisee, if you are into Assassin's Creed games, then I think you should definitely check it out. And at this price point, which is 17.49, less than $20, or roughly around $20, I think. This is, I would say, a decent enough buy. Let me know if you think this is your money's worth or not in the comment section. Okay, Mortal Kombat. This game is available on sale on both Epic and on Steam platforms. This game is again one of my favorite games of all time. In fact, it never gets old, Mortal Kombat. And even Street Fighter 6 is on sale at the same price point, by the way. But if I have to choose between the two games, Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter 6, although Street Fighter 6 did win the best fighting game of 2023, but personally to me, this is a much better game. Now, the fatalities, they will never grow old. I mean, they're so gory, and it's gorier than ever. There are a lot more characters. The story, the lore, in fact, they've expanded on it and they've made it more interesting. The time traveling changes, the multiple dimension changes. I mean, there's so much here to unpack. Liu Kang becoming the new god, overtaking, Raiden, replacing him, in fact, as Earth's protector or protecting god. There's so much from the story perspective. It offers a lot. In fact, none. You could say, yeah, no other game, none out there can compete with Mortal Kombat when it comes to storytelling. This is the only fighting game I personally feel which has the best storytelling aspect. So do check it out and do buy it on a sale because this is a good price for it for a game which released just a few months back in 2023. It's now available for roughly around 2699 Indian rupees, which is roughly around, you could say, $32 approximately. And at that price point, this is one of the best fighting games that you could get your hands on. Mortal Kombat 1 is definitely one of those games that I will recommend from 2023. Now, the last two games that I do want to talk about on this list is one of them is definitely Immortals of Aveum. Now, I was surprised that this game didn't do that well. In fact, the developers are now cutting their staff. But let me tell you, I've played this game from the production value perspective. It is really up there. It's a true AAA title, and it's really good. It's got the visual flair. It's got the right set of characters, the protagonist is interesting, the story is interesting, the backdrop is really unique, and it has a lot of elements going right for it. The world of Avium itself, for instance, I mean, it's a feast for your eyes. It has diverse landscapes from mythical forests to war-torn battlefields, and each environment, you could say, oozes of character, and it begs to be explored with hidden secrets and lore scattered throughout. And the story itself, it's not groundbreaking, but the narrative revolves around a fascinating war for the control of magic, and there are morally ambiguous characters and their intriguing twists. It's enough to keep you engaged between bouts of magical mayhem. So this is definitely one of those games that I was surprised that didn't do well, because I really liked it. And if you want me to put out a more detailed review of this game, then do let me know. But again, I'm really surprised. Now, I understand that the gameplay can feel a little rough around the edges, and there are inconsistent difficulty spikes as well. Uh, but having said all of that, the world and the lore itself, they're great. Well, one complaint would be that they were never able to uh, uh, fully capitalize on the exploration bit, because you can see it, but you can't explore all of it. So that might be one of my biggest complaints here. And the story leaves some threads dangling, and some of the side activities, they are really uninspired, and it's not worth even being there. It's like, I would personally say it's kind of a time waste. But apart from that, it's really a promising game. I mean, the magic wielding gameplay itself um, has lots going for it. So it's an FPS game, as you can see it, but it's really a fun ride. I had a good time. And again, I'm surprised that this game did not do as well as I thought it would. But hey, if you've played this game, let me know what your thoughts are. Did it deserve not to be a hit, or did it deserve to be a hit but it failed? And if you think that it failed because of a certain number of reasons, let me know in the comment section what those reasons are. I'd be very, very intrigued to find out what your thoughts are about the Immortals of Aveum, which, in my personal opinion, is a good game. It's not a great game, but it's definitely a good game, and it deserved some more love than what was shown to it, is what I would say. Although I want to talk about so many other games, but this video has already become way too long. Having said that, the last game on my list is Season, A Letter to the Future. Now, what a unique game. It's, in fact, very, very unique. And it's an emotionally resonant game that blends a coming of age story with environmental activism as well. Now, you play as Estelle, a young woman on the cusp of adulthood who embarks on a bicycle journey across a breathtaking island paradise. And this just isn't any other vacation. It's in fact a race against time, as the island is about to be flooded by a collapsing dam. So that's like a gist of what this game is about. And let me tell you that this game, when I saw the trailer, I immediately knew that I am going to be downloading this game, because this is exactly what games are made for. I mean, to offer you something unique, something which you haven't experienced ever. And the world of Season, A Letter to the Future, is a visual feast. It's got vibrant landscapes, as you can see, ranging from sun-drenched beaches, and it's got everything going for it from the visual standpoint. You've got ancient temples, you've got bamboo forests, and every corner of this game, it bursts with life and detail. The characters are well designed, and you feel truly immersed in this whole ecosystem. I mean, look at the visuals of this game itself. And you from the story perspective as well, it's not exactly fast paced, it's not exactly an action oriented game. It's kind of a slow burn, um, uh, I would say slow burn meditation on loss, on acceptance. And as you explore the whole world of Season, like this island, you will even encounter abandoned villages. You'll come across crumbling ruins, um, and remnants of a past way of life. So trust me, guys, I mean, this is a truly unique game, and I think you should definitely give it a go. I've already purchased this. This is in my library. And one of the games that is very easy to recommend just for the visual flair that it has to offer. Do let me know what your thoughts are about this game. And if you want me to make a detailed review of this game, again, let me know in the comment section. I'll be very happy to. I've already purchased this on the Epic sale, but hey, this game, in fact, you should definitely try it out. Just look at the visuals. So let me know what you think about all the games that I've discussed today. I know I've not been able to cover a lot of games, but hey, this video has already become too long. Maybe in some other video I might talk about it. But hey, these are some of the picks that I have from the sale that is on the Steam and Epic platforms. This is just available for 539 Indian rupees, which makes it what, like 10 Aussie dollars? In fact, not even US dollars. It's less than $10. And at that price point, it's easy to recommend this game. Do check it out. And hey, let me know if you think I've missed some of the games. Let me know. I'll include it probably in my next video. I'd be happy to make review videos of those games in my next few videos. But that's it for this one, folks. Let's quickly head over to the outro now. Now, before I finally end this video, I just have a small request. Uh, First of all, before requesting, I would like to thank each and every one of you for your support and for your love. I really, really appreciate it. It is what keeps my channel going and growing. And speaking of growth, it would really mean a lot if you could just hit that like and subscribe button and also that bell icon in case you want to get notified with all my latest videos. Now, I do put out one video on every Sunday and on a Wednesday at 4 p.m. Indian Standard Time. And having said that, I also have started a separate channel for gaming where I put out gaming videos in English, because this channel, although originally I thought that I would make a lot of videos in English and Hindi, but I think the viewers of mine on this particular channel seek a lot more content in Hindi. That's why what I want to do is I want to direct my English content, gaming content, over to my gaming channel. Now, I want to put up the same video on both my channels so that you can take advantage of this video on both the channels. In the beginning, I might be doing that for a few of these videos so that you can at least stay up to date with what I'm doing on my gaming channel, because not a lot of you know about my gaming channel yet. Now, having said that, I'm going to put the link of my gaming channel in the description box as well. Please do check it out, and please also subscribe to that channel. It would really mean a lot to me. Having said that, again, I would like to wish each and every one of you and yours a great New Year's and a very safe New Year's. And enjoy yourselves and have a blast. And also make sure that you tune into both my channels. It really means a lot. Your support really means a lot to me. With that said, it's a wrap for this one. I will see you, lovely folks, in my next video. Until that time, I'll say take care, stay safe, and may God bless you all.